Compared to the other major players in One Piece, Buggy's life has essentially been a joke. Even at a young age, sailing the seas with the greatest pirate of all time, he lived in the shadow of another promising young pirate. That pirate later in life becoming one of the 4 emperors of the sea, red-haired Shanks. One Piece is a story about legends, and the legend of Buggy the Clown is one filled with hypocrisy and tragedy. Before we continue, I recently launched a Patreon account. If you enjoy my work and wish to support me, go to the link down below. Buggy starts the story as the first villain of One Piece, the first captain that Luffy defeats on his path to being king of the pirates. Buggy fits perfectly as the first true villain, being a unique foil to Luffy since they are both devil fruit users. Even though the anime adaptation misses how suave Buggy actually is, the manga shows the real horror of him as a villain. Villains in One Piece often walk a fine line between being horrifying and hilarious. This is taken to the extreme with a character like Big Mom later in the series. Big Mom going from playful to terrifying at the drop of a hat. Buggy embodies this duality at the start of the series with his elegant sort of terror when he is first introduced in the story. Buggy's first full panel showing his playful nature, but also his larger-than-life persona, all with him just sitting in a chair. Since it is so early on in the series, Buggy is the first devil fruit user we have come across outside of Luffy. Currently, having a devil fruit is commonplace, but I don't want to understate just how much that meant to the series 2 decades ago. Having a devil fruit in the East Blue meant you had taken on an ungodly power, but with the ultimate sacrifice. At Baratier and Arlong Park, being able to swim is a key factor in the survival of the crew. Hell, looking at the rest of the major villains in the East Blue, Buggy is the only one among them to have a devil fruit. With the East Blue being the first saga in the story, Buggy the Clown is the only character that mirrors Luffy as a leader. None of the other villains hold the same desire as Luffy, but Buggy has that unique relationship with him, made even stronger with his connection to Shanks. Buggy traveled with Goldie Roger for years leading up to his discovery of Laugh Tale. Buggy and Shanks, being the youngest members of the crew, were always competing to show who was better. Later, Shanks tricking Buggy into eating the Chop Chop fruit, and at this point in the story, having a devil fruit comes with a real disadvantage, and Buggy isn't even given one of the stronger devil fruit powers in the series. So from a young age, Buggy is put in a position that he didn't want to be in. Buggy has interacted with some of the most powerful people in the world, and eventually turned himself from a pirate with a small bounty out in the East Blue to one of the 7 warlords of the sea. This comes from the legend of Buggy the Clown, a legend that is founded in complete falsehood. What does it mean to be a legend? Being someone who is considered by many to be great or the best at what you do is what a legend is to me. Buggy the Clown slowly gaining that type of reputation, even though it is founded in falsehood. Buggy has done little to deserve his title, and now he has to bear the consequences of being a legend. With the 7 warlords of the sea being dismantled, Buggy has the status, but has no one to protect him now. After Orangetown, Buggy is left behind for more fleshed out and compelling villains like Arlong, Crocodile, and Blackbeard. But Buggy's grand return to the larger narrative at Impel Down does not disappoint. After being held in Impel Down, one of the greatest prisons in the world, Buggy finds himself working with Luffy to try and escape. Luffy attempting to save Ace, Buggy uses his skill to get himself and the rest of the inmates out of Impel Down and to Marineford. At this point in the story, Buggy goes from a villain role to complete comic relief. He takes his role as the clown perfectly, and relieves much of the tension throughout the Summit War, keeping up the same vibe you get from One Piece, even in a giant death battle. Buggy bouncing perfectly off of Luffy, which highlights Oda's ability to put characters in new situations. Buggy is left with a new role after the war. He is now a warlord of the sea. But lying inside of Buggy is the hollowness that comes with being a legend. One Piece's story is framed by the legends of Garp, Whitebeard, Goldie Roger, and even Shanks. Even where we are currently at, the legend of Odin, the man who was meant to boil, lives in our minds and fuels the mission of each character in Wano. In the background of the larger story, Buggy grows his own legacy. Buggy making people believe in him even though he has never really achieved anything. This is where the hypocrisy of his legend lies. Buggy acts like he has the strength of the strongest characters in One Piece. Buggy held on to the idea that he could still achieve the title of the Pirate King one day, and live up to the expectations he had growing up. Buggy should have never reached the status of legend, and yet we see him act in the series as if he is one. I find this aspect of Buggy to be incredibly compelling, as I am sure all of us have had moments in life where we wanted to meet up to an ideal, but we fell short. I know I have looked at people who I consider to be legends as if they were something different from everyone else. But Buggy is the reminder that it isn't always the case. Usually legends in person don't meet the standard of the legend in name. In One Piece, we see many characters who far exceed who they were known to be, Rayleigh being a prime example of that. The right-hand man to Goldie Roger is even stronger than we could have imagined. But Buggy doesn't live up to the hype that has been set for him. Every warlord in the series has far exceeded him in raw strength, and now, for me at least, we have seen this evolution of Buggy from a pure villain to a comic relief character to now a tragic personality in the landscape of One Piece. Maybe I'm looking a little too deeply into Buggy the Clown, but underneath that big persona, there is a tragic character who has never lived up to who he wanted to be. Buggy, sailing with the greatest pirate of all time, should have been positioned to become an emperor one day. But instead, when he is first introduced in the story, he is out in the East Blue pillaging a helpless town, while Shanks is off making a name for himself as one of the greatest pirates in the world. No matter what titles Buggy achieves, no matter the money and status he has, I am sure deep down there is a sadness that he was not able to reach the heights that he thought he was capable of when he was younger. One Piece is a story of dreams, and Buggy shows what happens when your dreams don't align with the reality of who you are. Shonen battle series can often trick us into thinking that being considered a legend is the only thing that we need, or at least at the outset. The completion of One Piece's story will arrive when Luffy achieves the title King of the Pirates. And as satisfying as that moment will be, it has no chance to reach those heights if Luffy doesn't find fulfillment from his friends. Luffy can't just be King of the Pirates in name, but he must be in action as well. And this is where Buggy falls short as a legend in his own right. I'm not sure what is next for Buggy. He doesn't have the strength to run away from the Navy if they really want to catch him. But with how he has ascended so far, I am sure we will see more from him in the future. I am hopeful that Buggy can turn into the legend that he has the potential to be, and that he doesn't have to keep putting on this persona forever. Buggy shows us that being a legend is not all it's cracked up to be, and that in reality, these heroes are far from who we think they are. Buggy the Clown showing us the hypocrisy of being a legend. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really couldn't help myself trying to take Buggy the Clown seriously, so I hope you enjoyed my take on him. And kind of, what are your thoughts? Comment down below on Buggy the Clown, and how are legends viewed in One Piece. It's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I think could influence some other videos that I make in the future, potentially about Odin, Roger, Whitebeard, characters like that. So if you liked this video and you enjoy my work, go to the link down below to support me on Patreon. Everything helps. My goal one day is to be a full-time creator, so anything there helps. If you want to interact with me, go to Twitter at AnnieEssays. Thank you again to all my patrons, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.